And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Hello everyone, my name is Patrick Sartor, and wow, do we have some Kent State athletics to break down together. From the men to the women, both making a run at conference championships. So come along as we get the ball rolling on sports. We mentioned the success in the Open, but these Lady Flashes are as hot as could be. The women started their tournament run on Wednesday when they beat Northern Illinois in their first postseason matchup, and continuing their dominance today as they triumph over the Ball State Cardinals. The final was 65-50 as Bridget Dunn and Katie Shoemate finished with double-doubles. Jenna Bash also all over the court, making things difficult for Ball State offensively. However, for head coach Todd Starkey, the job's not finished, as Kent will attempt to win their first conference championship since 2002 and are making their first appearance back since 2006. The 3-seed Flashes will take on the 4-seed Buffalo for championship glory in the MAC Conference, and the game will be held tomorrow, Saturday at 11 a.m., and you can catch the final affair on ESPN+. We transition to the men's team, and folks, I may need to call myself out a little bit. Last week I referred to this team as heavy underdogs entering the tournament, but now I kind of have to eat my words as those underdogs took over the game. Astoundingly, the upset of the year perhaps in Kent, the 8-seeded Flashes taking down the 1-seeded juggernaut of Toledo. Who else but Von Cameron Davis giving his best effort? Career high of 26 points and also 12 rebounds. Davis gave Kent the spark and push they needed and never looked back. The semi-championship affair is underway as we speak, and right now, 15:43 to go. Kent State is up 41-36, so incredible there. If Kent can move on to win this one here, they will play the winner of Ohio versus Akron, and that's beginning at 7 o'clock today. And we move now to NFL free agency, stepping away from Kent, and I want to address one specific free agent signing. That would be the Cleveland Browns opting to sign Jameis Winston as their backup QB and allowing Joe Flacco to walk. He signed with the Colts yesterday. Many fans in and around Cleveland were upset with this move. Seeing the success Flacco had last season, the Browns have proved they need a capable backup. But I think moving on from Flacco was a correct move. When you trade 3 first-round picks and sign Deshaun Watson to the most guaranteed money in sports history, the Browns couldn't keep Flacco. Fans would be asking for him to start after any loss, and quickly the city could be even more against Watson. And the problem is, like it or not, this is Deshaun Watson's team, and keeping Flacco could undermine future success of Watson and waste all of the capital spent on him. Folks, thanks for coming along this journey with us. We're excited to root on these Kent basketball programs this weekend, and I hope you check in on these games as it will be very exciting, full-on postseason basketball. Till next time, I've been Pat Sartor. And we'll start right here with a story that has been evolving nearly every day, it seems, that being the betting scandal and theft allegations of Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara. Ippei has been Ohtani's interpreter and right-hand man since he began his MLB journey in 2018. However, on the first day of the 2024 MLB season, on the 20th of March, when reports first came to light, what were those reports? Well, the accusations were the interpreter stole roughly $16 million from Ohtani to cover owed gambling debts to an illegal sports book believed to be operating in California. When the news first broke, many were worried it was Ohtani doing the gambling. However, after careful investigation and forensic accounting, big word there, authorities were able to conclude that it was entirely Ippei doing the bets, and that not only did Ippei commit theft, but bank fraud in Ohtani's name. The latest news came in this morning when Ippei turned himself into authorities and is now in federal custody. However, Ippei Mizuhara is expected to be released on bond within the next 48 hours. And we'll now go over to those Cavs on a little lighter note here. Just 2 games left in the season and 8 days till the playoffs begin as we speak. The Cleveland Cavaliers sit at the 4 seed, 1 game back of the New York Knicks for the 3 seed, and Cleveland had that magical run, winning 18 out of 19 games just before the All-Star break. Now the losses have been piling up as of late, leaving some fans unhappy with the season's success. But folks, we must put this season into context. Donovan Mitchell's missed 24 games, Evan Mobley 32 games, Darius Garland 24 games missed, and Max Strus has missed 11. If someone told you that the Cavs would have all these stars missing dozens of games, I think seldom fans would be upset with a 4 seed in the NBA playoffs.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Hello everyone, and with all those April showers, we here at TV2 are certainly hoping for the May flowers. So come on along as we get the ball rolling on today's big bouquet of sports. Well, we'll start today with the latest on the assembly of the USA basketball team. And folks, with great respect to the amazing dream team of 1992 with Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Patrick Ewing, this fresh squad of Hoopers is as good as any team the USA has ever assembled. The stars include the supremacy of LeBron James, the scoring of Kevin Durant, the impeccable range of Steph Curry, Joel Embiid's unquestioned dominance, the electricity of Anthony Edwards, and the prowess that is growing of Jason Tatum. Team USA is sending the best, and us back home are certainly rooting for the best in Paris this summer. Now let's go on over to the Diamond, and to the surprise of many, and actually including myself, we see those Guardians tied for first place in the entirety of the MLB. With a rookie head coach, Shane Bieber, out for the year, and a wildly underfunded team. Just how are these cardiac kids racking up the wins? No, not with the long ball, but to the delight of Billy Beane through getting on base. The Guardians have 4 players with above 20 hits thus far, and Stephen Kwan has elevated his play even beyond the mastery of last season. When you combine this offensive success with the pitching staff having the 5th best ERA in the game, these wins can be sustainable. And we'll move on now to the hardwood. Basketball fans get excited. The NBA playoffs start tomorrow. The NBA play-in finishes tonight. However, in the last calendar week alone, so many stars of the league have succumbed to injury. This includes Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's expected to miss the entirety of the first round against the Pacers. Kawhi Leonard, who's coming into these playoffs day to day as he's battling soreness in his knee, but after receiving an injection yesterday, the Clippers do believe he will play. Zion Williamson, he's going to miss tonight's play-in game with a mysterious hamstring injury. And finally, Jimmy Butler is out indefinitely with an MCL injury. We truly hope these stars can get healthy so we can enjoy the NBA playoffs at their full strength. Now we're right here at home in Kent and check in on the golf team as they prep for their last tournament of the year. They'll get a good opportunity to see their conference rivals of Ohio, Eastern Michigan, Miami, and Northern Illinois before facing off against them in the conference tournament next weekend. And in other Kent news, after the triumphant championship of the Kent women's basketball team, the acclaimed Todd Starkey earned himself a lengthy extension through the 2029-2030 season. Well, sadly, folks, that's all the time we have this week. Don't forget about those Cleveland Cavaliers as they begin their playoff run tomorrow. Special shout out to Jen Lohman. She's done a great job as she's wrapping up her time here at TV2. She's done great. We can't wait to see what you do in the future. That's been my time. I'm Pat Sartor.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Good afternoon, Portage County in Northeast Ohio. My name is Patrick Sartor, and we have an abundance of sports to discuss today. From women's golf to those Cleveland Guardians who just keep winning to the Kent baseball squad. And later on, we're going to break down what was the wild first round of the NFL draft in Detroit. So stay tuned as we get the ball rolling on sports one final time. And it's right here at home for the Kent women's golf team. And they've been out to impress all year long. Folks, really for the last 25 years they have been. This is a team and a story not discussed nearly enough locally or nationally. The Kent women's golf team took home the MAC championship on Tuesday. But what's more than this is, it was their 25th consecutive win. An even more impressive note to Kent is they're the only team to ever win a women's golf championship in the MAC. In addition to the championship, 3 prominent members of the golf team took home hardware. That was Leon Tagashi. She won the MAC Golfer of the Year. Veronica Kedranova won Freshman of the Year. And of course, Casey Van Dam took home Coach of the Year for her 2nd consecutive season. And over to the Diamond, the Kent baseball squad has an immensely important 3-game series coming up. That starts today. Their opponent, the team is off to the best MAC record in history, Bowling Green, and they sit at 17-1 in conference play. With Kent just 1 game above 500 in the standings overall and 10-8 in the MAC, these games are going to be vital to the success we have down the road. And we go now over to that Guardians game. In the bottom of the 2nd there, you see Will Brennan smashing one deep, getting the scoring off. A lot of hits, a lot of runs in this one, which is a little bit different than what we're used to from these 2 teams and these 2 matchups, really. And here in the 2nd, it's Jose Ramirez. Doesn't bring 1 in, 2 or 3. It's a grand slam. He's going to round them all, and everybody is going to be happy after that one. That's going to get the Guards off to a 5-0 victory. And then left fielder here is Rob Refsnyder. He's going to triple in this one. One's going to come in to score. It's going to make it 5-1 in the top of the 3rd. Like I said, the hits were out. And in this one, folks, Boston, 10 hits. Cleveland, 8 hits. But we'll touch on that in a second here. As it's Jaron Duran going to play an RBI single in the top of the 6th, make it a little bit closer, draw the lead very close now, just 1 run. And then we see here, a pitch gets away from the catcher. Jose Ramirez comes in to score. That's going to be the insurance that those Guardians needed to move on in this game and come out with the victory. Like I said, 10 hits. Red Sox had more hits than the Guardians, but with a grand slam, that kind of tells you really the story of the game. But that's all we have for now, but keep it right here on TV2 as we still have yet to get to the draft and NBA playoffs. So, Nina, I'll ask you, Mike, I'll ask you the same question. What was the pick that really surprised you, that shocked you a little bit?
Well, for me, it's not necessarily a pick, but I was really surprised that it took 15 picks just to get to a defensive player. I mean, normally, like, teams will take a defensive end. It seems like you can never have enough pass rushers in today's NFL, but, 15 picks to get to a defensive player, I mean, it could be the reason why a lot of teams seem to have a lot of struggles on offense, but, I mean, I can't think of a time when that's happened off the top of my head.
Well, we just mentioned those top 10 picks. Half of them were quarterbacks. Yeah. Half of them were quarterbacks, the same position, right? A lot of wide receivers in this one, too. There wasn't a lot defensively being drafted there. Bo Nix went 12 to Denver. Brock Bowers, he went 13 to Oakland. Xavier Worthy, a lot of people, some saying he's the steal of the draft, right, with his 40-yard dash time. But, the Cleveland Browns, they'll pick 22nd in the second round today, and that starts at 7 Eastern, so we're excited for that. But we'll move on now. Let's go over to the NBA. I'd like to talk about that lengthily here. The Celtics and Heat. How about that, Mike? The Celtics showed us that they are fallible, that they can lose against a team, even in the first round, an 8 seed, without Jimmy Butler. Any thoughts on that one?
I don't think the Celtics are really in danger of losing the series,
right.
But, I mean, their playoff demons seem to be returning a lot. This seems like a team that just doesn't really have a lot of fight in them. Unfortunately, that means that that title run may not be as a sure thing as a lot of people seem to think it was. I think people definitely got caught up in their regular season, but it's only one game. I mean, let's see how this series plays out. And I really think that, we shouldn't overreact to one game.
Right. I think that's a great point. I think a lot of people aren't realizing is they spent the whole time game planning for a Heat team that had Jimmy Butler. And so when you take away one of the most prominent playoff players in the league, that's going to make a huge impact on the game.